not like, she doesn't think.
Oh my god, I want to be So I'm gonna make a video talking about my experience with CIEE. So for some background context, in the summer going into my senior year, I spent about a month or so in Madrid with CIEE. I was a global navigator. I don't, if that's the right term, yeah, I did like the global navigator thing. And I did, it was like honor Spanish in Madrid. Yeah, that's what I did. I separated the whole experience into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 categories, okay? Okay. So we have, first we have housing, day-to-day life / schedule, freedom, classwork, Spanish, overall, and what I recommend. So to start off with housing, I also rated each category 1 through 10. So anyways, those are my categories. So starting off with housing, I rated it an 8 out of 10. You can either stay in a single or a double. You don't get to choose, you get a random assigning. I was assigned to a double, so I didn't have a roommate. She was in a different room, but some people do have roommates. It was a small apartment, which I was okay with. We were in the perfect location in the middle of Madrid in a cute neighborhood called Chamberí. It was the best. I just loved it. You can be placed anywhere. You could be placed anywhere between like the middle of the city, or I think up to an hour outside the city. So I felt like I won the lottery in that aspect. My roommate was amazing. We got along really well. We hung out a lot. We ate dinner together. We ate meals together. We don't really talk a lot, but we're still in contact. We have each other on social media. You know, we'll comment or respond to each other sometimes on social media. So I'd say that we had a pretty good connection. My host mom, it was a mother, a father, and a little brother. Not like, I don't know how to explain it, but it was like that. Everyone in my host family was great. They were really nice. I spent some time with the brother, actually. He was like 13 or something. I don't know. We made like TikToks, like the roommate and the brother. It was so funny, and we'd like ask him questions sometimes. Not a lot. He was always out, but that was really fun. And then the host mom was really nice. She took us out sometimes to Casa de Campo and we rode bikes. I mean, it was like a required activity, but it was still really fun. I'd take 2 points off for the housing because I got a little bit of a culture shock, and I think I adapted very well to certain places, but low-key I was kind of scared. Not scared, not in an unsafe way, but I was like, oh, like awkward. And obviously that's natural, so I think on my first day I accidentally slammed the door, or I don't know why. I don't know if it's like a Latino thing or a Spanish thing. I think it's both, because my family was Latino, they weren't Spanish. But I like shut the door and then she screams and I was like, oh. What? I don't know, that just caught me off guard because it's so normalized to like shut the door loud in America, obviously, unless your parents are against it. I don't know, that just kind of scared me. And then sometimes, I don't know, it just like kind of creeped me out. Okay. So now we have day-to-day life and / schedule, and I'm gonna rate this one a 5. I'm sorry, it just bugged me. So here's the thing, I'm not sure about the other cities, but Madrid, it is a night city, especially during the summer. I went for the second session in July, so it was hot, and the families, even the little babies, the little kids, they don't start coming outside until 10 p.m. Mind you, our curfew was 10 p.m. So I think they said, oh, like all of Spain is doing 10. I think depending on the city and the culture, they should have gone later. Like at least 10:30 or 11, because some things didn't start till 10 or 11, and it was just really frustrating. And even my host mom said every time, like, it's early, it's early. She tried to take us out past 10 so many times because she felt bad, because she knew, like, 10 is very early. My host brother came back at 1 a.m. And that's just the culture there. Like, the kids, they stay out late. And as someone who was a junior in high school, about to be a senior, I was a little bit frustrated because it's like, why is my little host brother staying out later than me? So I was like, okay, whatever. And obviously my host mom accommodated to that, and understood, and we went places after 10 p.m. like festivals, or I don't know, we just went places sometimes. So that was something I didn't particularly like. And then the overall day schedule, it was good. I feel like it could be better. So the way it was set up was activity, well, yeah, okay, so it depended on the day, but usually it was like call time to the school was around 9 a.m. I want to say. And then in the morning from like 9 to 11 we had a cultural activity, so we went, like, we did ceramics, we did like riding bikes through the park or something like that. I'll put pictures here of some of the activities we did, but we did, it was actually fun. So it wasn't that, I like that, okay? So then after that we had lunch, which it was different. It usually was a pretty long lunch, it was like 2 hours. So you kind of had time to explore the city for lunch, because right from wherever we were for an activity, they were like, just go and meet back for class. So that was okay. And then we had class from 2 p.m. to 5, which was nice because it was the hottest hours of the day. So that was completely inside and air conditioned. That was good. And then we had free time from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Again, 10 p.m. was way too early. Like, some restaurants, they open at like 8, 9. So it's like, if you want a reservation and you have to get it for like 8:30, you have to like hurry up and eat, and then you have to get back to your house. So that was like, okay, kind of a lot, not gonna lie. And then next category, I have freedom, and I rate that a 7 out of 10, because yes, we couldn't stay out that late, but in the time that we could stay out, there was no restrictions. Like one Saturday, we had the day off because, or no, we just had the day off one Saturday. And so my friend and I, we went to Toledo, which is a town, like, it's probably like an hour drive from Madrid, but we took the fast train and it was 30 minutes. And we spent the whole day in Toledo with like these girls that I like knew. It's in my other video if you want to watch that. It was really fun, and I think like some people for their day trip, they went to Barcelona. And we were gonna actually take a flight somewhere. We were gonna go to Portugal, but the flights were looking a little expensive. And we had like already plans to go to Toledo. But some of our friends went to Barcelona, like the south, the coast, the beach, you know? Like, that's not insane. That's a lot of freedom, but the only restriction was you have to be back by 10 p.m. And that also really frustrated me, because I remember on what was like the second to last night, I went to a bullfight, and they don't end for so late. So I only got to stay for like the first 2 rounds. Granted, I wanted to leave anyways, because that was honestly one of the most traumatizing things I've ever watched. But still, like, you would have to get your host family to come with you, and if your host family doesn't support bullfights, then you can't go see something that you might have wanted to see. Me personally, I would advise you guys to stay away from that. If you guys should watch my TikTok. I posted a TikTok about it. I was really crying. It was so scary, but it blew up, and it was just, it was scary. Okay, next we have classwork. So obviously this is not just fun whoop-de-doo, you actually have to do school, which I was looking forward to, because obviously I love learning languages, so I was excited to learn. The teachers, I love my teacher so much. He was so nice, he was so funny, he was so amazing. He was also a photographer, and I don't know like if that was his real job, or maybe he's like a professor. Sorry if you're watching, like, I forgot. But he's so nice, and genuinely when I go back to Madrid, I'll probably meet up with him as well, because he's so amazing. And the classwork, I felt like it wasn't boring. Like, we had 3 hours in class, which isn't a lot, but it felt like a lot because it was just like the whole day. But it wasn't boring, you know? I wasn't falling asleep. We were doing like games sometimes, we were doing stuff that wasn't super you know? So that, and I also learned a lot, which is on to my next topic, is Spanish. Oh, I rate classwork an 8 out of 10. Spanish, I rate that a 10 out of 10. I didn't realize it at first, but I think that my Spanish got probably so like 10 times 10 out of times 10 better. When I went, I wouldn't consider myself fluent. I mean, I did pretty well in the AP, but I felt like I couldn't express myself as well as I wanted to, and Spain definitely did that for me, because My host family didn't speak a lick of English, and if they did, they masked it well to only speak Spanish with me because, yeah, I don't think they spoke any English, actually. I think I would have known. But yeah, you actually have to, like, sign a contract to say you only speak Spanish, which I think I really tried to. I really tried to, okay? But my Spanish, like, they say to film a video before and after of you, like, saying something in Spanish. It's just the immersion, because, like, you're eating dinner with your host family. Obviously, I learned so much, and since you're just in that environment where everybody's speaking it pretty much, you just, like, soak up things. If that makes sense. It does. Okay. Anyways, yeah. It's true. Like, I think that my Spanish got a lot better. That's why I'd rate it a 10. But on to the next. Overall, I'd rate this a 7.5 out of 10. So, here is why it's not that high. I think this would be better for a sophomore going into a junior. I was a junior going to a senior. I think that junior going to senior is still good, but I felt like I was being a little bit babied. I guess that also just could be, I felt that way maybe because I already live alone. I go to boarding school. I'm pretty independent. And yeah, and also another reason why I rate it 7.5 is because I do like this program a lot, but I don't think it's for everybody. Because, as I said, I'm a very independent person, but at the end, I was starting to feel a little homesick. And my roommate was like, oh my god, I'm so homesick, I want to go home so bad. And I think if you're not an independent person, it's not for you. Because, I don't know, it can feel, I want to say, kind of isolating. And that's a very common feeling to feel abroad when you're not. That's why I think it was really good to have a roommate, because if I was trapped and I couldn't speak to anyone in English, which I wasn't supposed to do anyways, but, like, speak to anyone, and I was just my host family, I think I would not have enjoyed it as much. I had someone to kind of talk to and confide in that could understand me. So I think it's not for everybody 100%, and that's why I'd rate it a little bit lower, because I can kind of see to that side. And then finally, would I recommend it? That's why I say I would recommend it 95%. 95.9. I think that it was honestly one of the best experiences of my life. Actually, I got in really big trouble during this experience. I can do another story time on that. That was actually really bad. But I learned a lot, and I think that not only Spanish, but just about myself as a person, and this is kind of cliche, but, like, resilience and, like, learning from your mistakes, especially if you want to study abroad in college. Like, you're gonna have to adapt. You're a visitor.
Hey guys.
Oh my god, why is it?
Hey guys. Wow, I got really sick after filming that. But what I was saying was basically that you're a visitor in somebody else's country, and it can be difficult to adapt because customs can be very different. And that's something that I feel like it's just something that is important to learn, and that might come as a struggle to some people. But overall, I would highly recommend the program for any city, especially in Spain. I think Spain is a beautiful country, great people, great language, great food, great everything. So if you're considering it and you're on the edge, I would 100% say go. It can be scary and a big leap, but you only live once, and if you have the opportunity like this, you're not going to have anything like it again, especially in high school. So I'd say to take it. I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone has about the process, the application, living there, what it was like, and stuff like that. So also maybe the story time of me getting in trouble, I don't know. But yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.